Hello, do you hear me?
Hello, teacher. Good evening. Yes, I can hear you.
Good. Okay, so I think we can start. I don't know, I guess your classmates will join a little bit late tonight. Okay, this is the topic that we will discuss tonight. Mandatory recycling laws, the pros and the cons. Good evening, Claudia, welcome. Okay, what do you guys know about mandatory recycling laws? Have you ever heard about it in other countries, or what do you know about it?
Okay, teacher.
No idea?
No, for me, teacher, I haven't heard about this. No, I don't have idea.
Okay. Have you ever seen any recycling person in your neighborhood? Have you noticed if they work in the neighborhood where you live?
Yes, of course.
They do. Okay. And Claudia?
No, good evening.
Hello.
Sorry. No, in my neighbor, no, is usually this.
You
this
don't see
person.
them. Okay. But John have seen those people in his neighborhood. What type of recycling material do they collect? Have you seen, John? And we can hear you, John. Could you
Okay, yeah. Yeah, sometimes they're passing near to the street by car and they are asking for iron. Iron?
Yes.
Iron, something like this. And some person around the neighbors, when they don't need it, they give them. I don't know what is exactly the reason they are doing that. I suppose with that recycling, they can make money. I suppose, no?
Okay. Thanks. I mean, have you seen any recycling person in your neighborhood?
Yes, teacher. I know some organization near here of recycling recyclers, um, but I don't know very very good. Just just now there are near here, but no more.
Okay, so you have seen them, but you don't know exactly what they collect. Okay, what about the landfilling close to your city? Do you know what is the state of that landfilling? In my case, it's Doña Juana. Well, probably some of you have heard that there is a crisis there because there is no more space. And besides, the landfilling is close to a source of water. So we are worried about having the substance that comes uh, from the raw material reaches the water, because that will be terrible for the city. An emergency, a big emergency. So probably you have heard that in Bogota we have had that problem for several years, and we don't have yet a solution for that.
Teacher, I remember the, the topic of the Doña Juana.
What do you remember about it?
Yes, yes, in Bogotá.
Uh-huh.
About, yes, 20 years.
Yes, it's a problem that is really old, but lately the problem has been more serious because the possibilities to have an emergency are high.
Mhm.
Do you guys know where is the landfilling of closest to the place where you live?
No, teacher. Here, in this place, no. The
John,
land filling is a vertedero, yes? Okay.
exactly.
Land filling, vertedero,
Yes,
yes?
right.
Teacher, in my situations, here in Buenaventura, we have at landfills, 20 minutes, no, 20 minutes, no, 15 minutes from Buenaventura. But here there is a problem because the place where is located the landfillings is near to the river.
Mm.
It's near to the rivers, and the population near to the landfillings, they don't feel very good because sometimes they argue that there is environmental problems, right? This is located near to Cordoba, and Cordoba is the name of the landfillings, and the population say this is a big problem for the community.
It is. So something similar to what we have here. The landfilling
Yeah.
is close to
Yes.
a source of water.
Yes,
Okay.
sometime, and the community close the landfillings in order to they don't let to the trap go inside to the landfillings. Sometimes we had up some problems about it.
Okay. I mean, what about your city? Do you happen to know where the landfilling is located?
Yes, teacher, I suppose, for example, there is a dump. What do you say, basurero dump?
No, the landfilling.
Exactly. But it's a complete mess because there are garbage everywhere, and the people haven't culture about recycling.
Uh-huh. Okay, and is it very close to the city, the landfilling?
At the river,
Ah,
actually, this is the river.
it's close to a river.
Can imagine.
Mm. Okay, Maria, what about you? In your case, in the place where you live, do you happen to know where the landfilling is? We can hear you, Maria. Could you please enable your mic?
Okay, now,
Yes, we can hear you now.
first of all, I want to say I'm sorry, my voice is not good. I know fine. This is about 75 kilometers from the city.
Yes.
This place is no any river, any river, how can I say, natural things. But I never have been there. Only I know it's far away from here. No, it's not very close to the city.
Okay. Thank you, Maria. Okay, so regarding ways to prevent emergencies and how to recycle and how to help, we have in the city and no, in the country, the law about plastic bags for groceries. So you know that now we have to pay for the plastic bags. What do you think about it? Does it work? It doesn't work. People is more conscious.
doesn't work, the teacher.
That works. What has happened in your case, in your home?
It's the same because you go to supermarket and you have you have to buy a plastic bag.
Uh-huh.
It's the same thing.
Okay, so you say people keep on buying the plastic bags. I mean, people keep on using them, so people buy them.
Can you repeat me?
What you say is that it doesn't stop the problem because people buy the plastic bags because people still use them.
The government have to make a mandatory about the plastic in Colombia, like Chile, like other countries. You know,
What happens? What happens
the
in Chile?
in Chile, the government has made mandatory about plastic bags, the utilization of plastic bags. How do you say prohibido?
Prohibit?
Exactly, people. Exactly.
So the government in Chile prohibited the use of plastic bags.
Exactly.
Okay, so there are no plastic bags anymore there, and I guess people need to buy the clothing bags. Okay, and do you happen to know if they can buy other plastic bags in the supermarket for throwing the organic garbage?
No, I don't know.
Okay. All right. So in your opinion, if it's not mandatory, the prohibition, people is not going to stop using the plastic bags. Okay. What else? What do you think, John, Claudia, Maria, about this law?
Teacher,
Claudia.
the truth is that the plastic bags hurt the environment. Definitely, they hurt.
Uh-huh.
But the solution, in my opinion, no, no is,
O sea, ¿me puedes explicar la diferencia entre vaina
no
abierta y
is
cerrada?
um,
¿Del fruto o qué? De las hojas, supongo.
give
En general.
the
Ah, la embañadura de
to mix the money in this topic.
Okay. To ask for money to buy the bags.
Yes, not is necessary because if someone has money, um, could buy many plastic bags.
Can buy many plastic bags. Uh-huh.
Yes, and the problem continued
Continues.
continues.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yes.
but the education in the love for our planet, for our sea is the most important. Yes.
Okay. So in your opinion, the solution is to educate people on the need to take care of the planet.
Yes.
All right. Thanks. Maria, what's your opinion?
I agree with Liliana. For example, here there is only one market. They sell the plastic bags, but the people always buying the plastic bags, and this is people need education. I think it's
Okay.
like that.
So, Maria, are there other laws regarding the care of the environment in the place where you live?
Yes, we separate plastic from glasses, organic. Yes, they have law. They make some programs about in the schools and everywhere, but the people are is not caring too much. I think, but government made very big programs about this in the industry. They use some stands for show the people how recycle.
Okay. So they care about educating people about how to recycle.
Yes, they care too much about. But this is city, my special Medellin city. I live in. 4 years ago, they get some prize about the more clear city in the old Turkey, the cleaner city
The
in Turkey,
cleanest. Uh-huh.
the cleaner city in Turkey. They give for our European Union. They give one prize. This is it.
Mhm. Do you happen to know what is the city that recycles the most in Europe?
I don't know, teacher. Really, I don't know.
I mean, John and Liliana, do you happen to know? What is the city that recycles the most in the world?
Suppose Amsterdam.
Amsterdam? No, it isn't.
No,
And
I don't know.
in German, maybe in
Germany
German
is the second.
Germany.
The first.
Huh. I know German because I have been there. I know the people care, but I don't know another.
The first one is
Spain, no.
Austria.
Spain. Oh,
Austria. Austria is the first one. They
Austria.
recycle about the 65 to 75% of the products that can be recycled. And Germany is the second one. Right. Do you guys recycle at home or when you are in the street?
Yes, no, yes, in the street special.
So when you walk through the streets in Turkey, do you see different containers where you can recycle?
Yes, teacher. Different everywhere.
Okay. What about you, Liliana? Do you recycle at home?
Sadly, not. I would like, but,
Mm.
but not. In the street, I never threw the garbage.
Okay, you don't throw the garbage to the streets, but you don't recycle. You said you don't see any recycling person in your area, in your neighborhood,
No,
right?
teacher. In this place, no.
There isn't
No.
any.
Yes.
Okay. John, what about you? Do you recycle?
Sure. In my case, sometimes when I had the opportunity at home, I separate some products. Not all the time, sometimes. But when I go on the street, all the time I'm looking first the can to put in it the garbage. Because in the parks, we can see in different places the cans for different, for example, organic, plastic, battery, or something like this. And yeah, sometimes when I had the opportunity, I do it.
Okay, in the street.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, thanks. Amin, what about you?
No, I don't. I don't recycle.
All right. Would you think if the government of Colombia decides to find people who don't recycle? Let's say there is a new law that says that people who don't recycle will need to pay a certain amount of money to the government. Do you think that will work? What would be your reaction, and what do you think could be the consequences of a law like that?
Teacher, good evening.
Hello, how are you, George?
Fine, teacher. I think that will works. I was thinking about what we're talking about this class, and a week ago I was talking with a person from Venezuela, a girl that works for me in my well, for me, and she told me that in Venezuela, for example, people keeps the lights on all day, and you ask for a person, why don't you turn off the lights if you're not at home? And people answer, why? The government pays for that.
Mm.
So that's not my problem, because why don't you recycle? Why? Government pay for that. So I think if we don't, like Amin said 1 moment ago, if you don't have to do it, you won't. Maybe you won't do it. So the problem is that we don't have social conscience to do things for our own. We have to do it for mandatory reasons. So I think that will be a great strategy, maybe, because if you have a motivation, economic motivation to recycle, maybe we will do it. First, I don't recycle, for example, but if that will bring for me an economic sanction, I don't have to say sanction.
Fine.
Okay, fine. If economic fine, I will do it because it's mandatory. If I want to pay less on my bills, I have to recycle. So I think that will be a good decision for me.
Okay. What do you guys think about it? Do you think that law will work to lower the levels of contamination, pollution?
Teacher, the government have to make a law about recycling. You don't recycling, you have to pay a kind of tax or
Fine.
fine. Exactly.
But do you think that will work? Let's think about our society, that here, when we have a law, people usually find out a way to break the law. Do you think that will happen with that? Because in some countries where there is a mandatory law for recycling, what people have to do is to buy 2 types of baskets of 2 different colors, and they have to take it away every time it is required. So it will be noticed when the truck goes to get the trash. It will be noticed if the person that is in the house or the people who live in that building of apartments recycle or they don't.
Teacher, I think this is will work, but not immediately with the time, because the people need understand the system, learn the system, based on how can I say, based on
Fine.
finds about it. But I think maybe we will work with the time, not immediately.
Okay. Well, it could be the cons about it, the disadvantages of having a law such as that one, of having people pay if they don't recycle. What could be the disadvantage? Or the advantage? So the advantage, some of you mentioned that it could work. What could be other advantage?
No pollution.
Less pollution. Mhm.
Less pollution, less dirty in the street, because sometimes many garbage in the street. Will be more clean.
Okay.
Exactly, no garbage, better environment, clean rivers.
Cleaner rivers. Less
Better-
health
In the rivers,
problems.
parks.
To reuse the products,
The products. The material of the products.
yes, to reuse,
Ah, okay. People would reuse the materials of the products.
yes. Like the paper, the carton, the glass.
Plastic.
Yes.
Teacher, I would like to ask, see if someone knows what happens with the garbage that is recycled. I don't know where it takes, where government takes that garbage. It's I don't know that if somebody knows, I would like to know.
Does anybody
I
know?
hear it. Yeah, I hear they make gas, some kind of the gas. I hear
Okay, so
this one.
biogas can be produced with recycling material. For example, with the biogas is made with organic products. With organic material, when it gets rot, people can get gas out of it and can use it to cook or can use it to fire any place. Does anybody else knows where the recycling material is taken? Okay, when I checked in the internet, I found out that precisely because there is something that is not organized, that's why in some places where we see the recycling people, they only take some things because they know some companies that buy certain things. For example, cardboard, others buy metal, others buy glass, others buy PET. PET is the one that is more recycled. I mean, does that plastic that is used for bottles, for soda bottles or water bottles. That is the one that is more recycled. It seems that the people that buy that type of recycling material is higher. The number of companies that can buy that type of material is higher than the companies that are interested in buying other type of products. So what happens is that if there are companies that are interested in buying that material, and in the case of our country, the recycling people know where those companies are, where those places are, so they take that material and move it to the place where it is bought. That's why, for example, in my case, when I throw the garbage, I have seen that the recycling people only take some things. I usually recycle plastic, bottles, and paper, but I've seen that some of them don't take everything, just some, the things that they know where they can buy them, where they can sell them, sorry. And well, that's the reason why if recycling is not organized, so more and more recycling material will be taken to the landfills, because probably if we recycle, but there is not an organized system that can take all the materials to the corresponding places, so there is no opportunity to take profit from that process of recycling. So, for example, we can see that in some supermarkets there are containers to recycle some materials, not everything, not plastic bags, for example, that they collect bottles or they collect paper. That's because they know where they can take it. For example, in other supermarkets, we can see that they collect products that are related to technology, that are old and they are damaged, so they can take it to. They have the contact with the company that buys those products. So that's why if that system is not organized, not all the products that can be recycled will be reused, but just some of them. So in Colombia, that is not organized. And we can see that, for example, John told us that in his area, in his city, he can see recycling bins in the street. We don't see it in Bogota, for example. Claudia doesn't see it in her neighborhood or around. Amin doesn't see it in his neighborhood. He sees the recycling people, but he doesn't see the recycling bins. So there is not a culture of that because that's not organized. And it's a good business.
Teacher,
Yes,
according that you're talking about, I would like to say that the governments need to implement a law that they can teach to the school, or say to the teachers to teach to the students and teach them how they can recycling in their house, in the street. It's like a lot that help us to know and teach us how we are going to recycle, and in that case we can do it. The government need to give the direction for us. I think so. I think so.
but also, yes, the government should rule that, but also the people who are interested in having that business should or get organized so they can take profit from all the materials that can be recycled. Because when I was at the school, I remember that I got a lot of information about recycling and how we can take care of the environment. But as I tell you, I recycle and I take it to the front of the building where I live. But not everything that I recycle is taken. Just some of the materials that I put there, because there is not an organized system to take profit from everything, and there is no that is not organized. So I want to share with you a link where you can find more information about this. In that link, I found out different videos related to the topic, and also it mentioned. Thank you, Amy, for sharing that. It also mentioned the name of a woman from Asia who her business is to recycle the paper. He buys the recycling paper from the USA. He processes that paper and he sells back the new paper to the US. And she's one of the women who has more money in Asia. So it's It's a good business. I guess it requires a lot of effort because it is not organized, but it is according to that video, it is a good business. Let me show it to you. Okay, this one here. In this link, you can find different videos about that. Have you seen or do you know any person who uses recycling materials to produce clothes, to produce something and then sell it?
No, teacher.
No?
I know people who recycles water at home.
Yes, teacher. I know a bank in Bogota. Last name is Latin Latas. Latin Latas. They are recycling garbage and made instruments with that. It's very cool because they have a foundation and teach the people about recycling.
Great. So, and do they do the instruments?
Yes.
Great.
I will a link. Wait a moment, please.
Does anybody else know somebody who uses recycling material to produce something and sell it?
Wait. This is the Latin Latas.
Benjamin?
There are kind of luthiers with garbage.
Could you repeat, please?
No, let's check the video.
Okay, we'll check the video. I also found a page, for example, this one, that shows how people use recycling material to produce art. So, for example, that bag is made out of that tape from that old or not used anymore disc. But in that page, I also found out other ways people use material. Well, for example, this one in a fashion. Well, it was in Cali. It says a model presents a creation with recycled material during Eco Fashion 2011 in Cali. Here, this was about making bubucelas made out of plastic recycled or recycled plastic. That was in South Africa in 2010. This one is in France. That bubble is made out of recycled plastic. And well, people pay to be there, to use that space. Well, here the person is taking from an old computer some parts, some metal that can be reused. This is in Japan, electronic components recycled. This is in Afghanistan, is a door made out of recycled material. This one says compost is screened and sorted into different quality and sizes at the Woodhorn Group depot, where Christmas trees and other green waste is chipped and turned into compost, and at Tangermere near Chester in southern England. This one here, this is art made out of scratch, made out of different iron pieces. This was made in Bangkok.
It's an alien motorcycle.
And then he sells that art, and he didn't use any new material, but everything was recycled. Here we have an exhibition of flowers made out of recycled plastic. In Bogota, for example, at the end of the year, some commercial centers, some malls, buy recycled decoration for Christmas, and some foundations work with those recycling materials and sell the decoration for those shopping malls.
Teacher, excuse me.
Liliana.
I just remember that here some people made the pots with the plastic recycle.
And do they
Pots?
sell them? Yes.
Yes. With the plastic bottles.
Have you seen those pots made out of wheels? All wheels?
Wheels?
Yes. Wheels are those that cars use to move, the round ones. Haven't you seen them? They cut it in half and they put the soil there, and they plant the tree. They plant the plant in it, and they decorate it with different colors.
Yes.
Have you seen
Made
that?
a cherry too.
Yes. Yes, teacher.
So artists use.
This is a beautiful flower.
I do like it. I also saw in this page musical instruments made out of recycled material. Well, look at this one. Also made out of recycled material. This one was a planet made out of plastic bags, plastic bottles, sorry. This also was made out of plastic bottles. Here we have bicycles, recycled bicycles. Something like that, something similar to this is what is sometimes in the malls in Bogota, in some malls that buy a decoration made out of recycled materials. This one is the musical instrument. I guess I means the band that I means no probably make something similar. This was made out of recycled material. This was made in Paraguay. This one is in Beijing. 2010. This is in Brazil. This one is in Cape Town, South Africa. And I think that's it. Yes, that's it. Have you seen any other in your cities or in other places?
In Bogota, the Parkway neighborhood, there are a place, the name is Garbas Museum, do you know?
No, I have not seen it.
Yes.
Ah, you mean a house?
Yes, teacher.
Ah, okay.
Garbas
Okay.
Museum.
I have passed by that house, but I haven't been into it. Have you been into it?
Excuse me?
Have you been into the house, into that house?
No, just pass.
Pass by?
Thank you, teacher.
Okay. Here we have some pros.
Teacher,
John, tell me.
yeah, I have some situation that happens. Sometime, one day, I went to have a lunch with my wife to the downtown. After we finished our lunch, we were walking on the street. After some person showed up and he told us, "Hey, please, I have something to do. Can you show me? You have a time?" I say, "Okay." And he made a with a can of beers. A, a bicycle. Can you see it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he made a bicycle we can of beers. He immediately he organized, he cut, and 5 minutes later, like this, you can see, was a very good experience because the person has the art in his arm, and I give you some money for that. That was good things.
Yeah, so they are very creative people. Very good
Yeah.
with they're very good with their hands. The other day I saw a bag made out of pieces of metal from beer cans.
Yeah.
She made she had a bag made out of those parts. So yeah, like artists profit a lot from recycled material. Okay, well, what you see on the screen, I think you already mentioned that one positive thing about a possible mandatory recycling law would be that people could have could get used to that, could probably acquire more awareness on the need to recycle. Also, it says that it helps to reduce the energy used to manufacture goods. And there we have an example. So when somebody is interested in making a clothing item, so it is necessary the whole process to start with the raw material, with the cotton or any other material and process it. So it requires a lot of energy. Well, if the company reuses the old material, so it's not going to need the raw material, is going to save one step in the process. Other advantages, those laws could be could keep the environment clean, that you already mentioned, that could save some money that is used for taking the garbage to the waste materials. And as you mentioned, also could reduce the unclean environments and could reduce the diseases caused by unclean environments. Here we have other one, that is, it is that if people that are interested in making business out of recycled material could create job opportunities. So the recycling plants will need people, the manufacturer for recycling products will need people, and the creation of recycling related materials like recycle bins. So as in the case I mentioned, if we had the mandatory law, we will need to buy the bins, one for organic products and one for recycling material. So the production of those recycling bins will be a job opportunity for some people. The disadvantages could be that people will complain about buying the bins. Other one could be that it may be costly. It says the costs of recycling can vary, not just based on the material recycled, but on the administration of the recycling program and on demand for recycled materials. So as we talked before, if close to my home there are recycling companies, enterprises, so the cost to move the objects there will be low. But if the company is far away from my area, so the cost will increase. The cost of moving the recycled material to the place where it will be processed. Otherwise, says in places where the mandatory recycling laws or programs are in force and implemented, consumers do not cooperate voluntarily, but they are forced to cooperate under the threat of fine. It does not augur well for a great democratic country. So that could be like a disadvantage. And the last one is that recycling is not enough. So some people who are into this topic say that if people finally understand that recycling is important and start doing it more frequently, they are not going to understand that the problem doesn't stop there, but they are going to keep on their consuming habits. And if that continues, so there will be a law in the pollution, but the problem will keep on, because that is not the only way or that is not the complete solution for the environmental problems that we have. But the solution would be to really understand how the way we consume, the things we consume, affect the planet. So if we consume more than what we need, so we will continue polluting the planet. So there is one disadvantage that some people that are into this topic think that could happen if all the information is focused on recycling and not on the awareness of the way or the things we consume. Okay, here we have information about a company that is in charge of giving the communities that are interested in recycling information about how to lower their taxes regarding what they have to pay when the companies come to take their trash, to take their garbage. So those buildings, those communities who would like to lower that amount of money they have to pay, they can register in a system of multi-users to get the discount. So what the government does is that they take into account the amount of garbage that is taken from that community, and they reduce the bill, that the amount of money that they have to pay for the service of taking the garbage to the landfill. So that exists, but probably not many people know about it, or they are not interested in it. But there we have the telephones of the company that is called Ecosocial PH. Okay, do you guys have comments about this? Something else that you that you recalled about recycling experiences, other information that you know about other countries?
No, teacher, I don't have more information about that.
What do you think about the disadvantages that I just read? Do you agree with them? Do you disagree with them?
Teacher,
Claudia.
I remember that years ago, the grandparents buried, enterraban the trash,
Uh-huh.
and um, and the burn the trash. This is the solution in the past years ago.
But I think it happened in the places, well, in farms, in the countryside.
Yes, yes, in the farms. In the cities is impossible.
Mhm.
This is a complex problem.
It is. Well,
Mhm.
well, actually, it shouldn't be, because there are companies that can process the reusable material, but there are not laws and not organization to everybody to put the effort on recycling and reuse that material.
Mhm. Yes.
Any other comment about this? Could you guys tell me what is the mistake in this sentence? Does anybody know what is the mistake in sentence number 1?
Yes, teacher. Government is third person, not first.
Okay. So the government has.
Yes.
Okay. What is the mistake in the second sentence?
The place, what is the, must be, oh, near, must be far, no near,
No.
by the river, yeah.
Maybe the other, teacher, the place where the landfilling is located.
Exactly. It's the order of the sentence. The place
The
where
order of the sentence. Yeah.
exactly. The place where the landfilling is located is near a river. And the last one is this one. What is the mistake in number 3?
The solution
is no.
Okay.
No.
Okay, the solution is not. Is not to ask for money. Good. No comments, questions about this?
Teacher, the topic about this week is the clauses.
Relative clauses.
Relative clauses.
For example, sentence number 2 has a relative clause. It means that we have a word that is used in order not to repeat what is before. Instead of saying the place the landfilling is located, so we use where to replace the words that are before the place. So that is a relative clause. We make relative clauses with the words who, that, which, when. So we use when we don't want to repeat a date. We use which when we don't want to repeat objects. Also, we use that for the same thing when we don't want to repeat an object or sometimes a person. And who only for people. So we will say the Minister of Education, the Minister of Education is the person who needs to rule the issues regarding public universities and okay. There we have a relative clause because I'm using who to in order not to repeat the word the person. Right? In this case, I can also use that. The Minister of Education is the person that, so that is used for people or for objects. but who is only used for people. Right? If I want to use when, so the day when they sign the peace would be in the history books. Let's say. So the date when they signed the peace would be in the history books. Instead of repeating the word the date, I use when because I am referring to a date. Here where because I am referring to a place. Here who or that because I am referring to a person. Okay, but probably with more exercises, it will be clearer for you. Anyway, we can have an exercise about this next week, if you want.
Teacher, and you share some exercise about
Relative clauses?
this.
Okay. I will check for them in a web page that I use is a web page of Cambridge. I will check for them and I will send you the link, exact link.
Numbers.
Let's see. Any other question?
Teacher, for next class, can we review a point of the midterm exam that I think what's difficult to organize sentences into a paragraph? I don't really, for me, what's difficult that point? The exercise gave us about 8 sentences maybe, and we have to put it in order into a paragraph.
Okay.
We can do an exercise like that. I think it's good for us. It will be good for us.
Okay, I will check for that. For relative clauses exercises. Any other topic you want to review?
Yes, the use of will
The use of will.
in the receipt, in the final term.
In the midterm that you took?
Yes, middle term.
Okay. Good. Any other?
No, teacher, no question.
Okay. Good. So we will meet next week.
Okay, teacher. Teacher, the quiz start this week too?
Yes.
Tomorrow?
Yes, you can. Don't you have access yet? Do you have access to the X-Way? Did you have access to the X-Way today?
Let me check, teacher. I'm going to check right now.
I'll check and see, teacher, no, until tomorrow.
Maybe
Tomorrow?
They say, they say 3.
Ah, okay. So it will be available by tomorrow.
Teacher,
Maria.
I'm not ready.
No, but not for today, Maria.
Okay. Did you check it?
I checked it. I checked
Okay.
the file that you sent me.
Okay.
And
Teacher, are we going to have a midterm grade or not? Or just at the
Yes.
finish of the
no,
the
you
semester?
can now check it. You can now check it. Check the atom. Click on the atom, and you will check the grade.
Where, teacher? Excuse
It
me.
is available now. It is available now in the virtual room.
Okay, but there aren't some activities graded yet.
Yeah, I'm sorry. As I told you, I had to give the grades of 2 courses that I finished, and that's why I didn't have the time to check your tasks. But I will do it this week, I promise. I already uploaded the grades of 2 courses that I finished, and now I will focus on grading your tasks. I know this task 3, 4, and 6, and the last one, which is the project. So I will work on it. I will start by tomorrow. Promise.
Okay, teacher.
Okay. So if you don't have more questions, we will meet next week.
No, teacher.
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
Teacher, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Have
To
a
you,
good
teacher. Thank you.
Okay, teacher. Have a
To
good
you.
night. See you next
Good
class.
night.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, teacher.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Start recycling, please. Bye.
Yes, George, especially you. George.
Bye.